Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. I'm your host, Ace.
And I'm your host, McMillian.
And today we're back for episode 13. And just like always, if you would like to be a part of the council and join us every week, then make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as follow us on social media so you can stay up to date on all the news about the council. And just as a friendly reminder for any new listeners out there or watchers, this podcast consists of me, McMillian, choosing 3 anime of the current anime seasons, which is the winter 2022 as the time of right now. And our 3 animes that we're currently following along with weekly are the case study of Vanitas, Attack on Titan, and Demon Slayer. So if you prefer to hear us talk about one of those animes other than the other, and you want to skip straight to that section, the timestamps will be down below in the YouTube video in the description, as well as it will be in the episode description on the audio only platforms as well, in case you guys just want to skip on over to those sections. All right. And with all that being said, council is now in session. Let the meeting begin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, today, so going directly into our council announcements that we have for this week. So our first council announcement we have for the week is that this week is a double upload week. So also this week, first of all, episode 13 will be releasing on Wednesday, February the 9th, as well as either on haven't got a set date yet, but either on the Friday on the 11th or Saturday on the 12th, we'll be releasing our next special episode number 5. We'll be giving our thoughts and opinions on the new Pokemon Legend of Arceus game. So just be on the lookout for that. That'll be dropping either Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So just be on the lookout for that. As well as our next council announcement that we have here for today is, as well as on the February 9th, the Anime Crunchyroll Awards will be streaming, the 2022 awards. We're planning, keyword, we are planning to do a live stream, but we are not sure if we're legally allowed to live stream this on YouTube. We're not sure if we can just only do this on Twitch, and we don't want to really make a new Twitch account just for this one live stream. So in the case that we can't really live stream this on YouTube, we're just going to record our reaction to the Anime Crunchyroll Awards, and we're going to post that on YouTube as well as our audio. Well, can we post that? Mainly, probably this might just be a YouTube only one. We'll see how it goes for the audio platform only ones. But so just be on the lookout for that as well. And that is all the council announcements I have for today. So moving on to our first anime that we have slated for the list today, we're going to start with the case study of Vanitas.
Yeah. Episode 16, titled The Beast. And was it a beast of an episode? Who can say?
Who can say? But just like last time, we mentioned that we started our new format. So we're going to start with what we learned from episode 16 of the case study of Vanitas.
Yeah, so I called y'all. I called it. The phone rang. Chloe was not, in fact, the Beast of Gavadon. It was, in fact, our boy Jean-Jacques. It was revealed to us after basically him and Noi had a confrontation where he straight up kind of just forced Noi to drink his blood. And as we all know, Noi has the ability to look into the past of the people he drinks blood from. And he saw that Jean was a vampire that Chloe had decided to take into her care because he was abandoned by his family. And one thing led to another where people started to become afraid of Chloe and seek her out due to the fact that they believed she was a witch or that she herself was the beast. And he, Jean-Jacques, to protect his newfound family made a deal with Charlatan / Nanania to become the Beast of Gavadon.
They still catching me off guard with this Nania.
Yeah, I'd be feeling weird when we talk about it because I'm just like, do I call her Charlatan? Do I call her Nania?
Listen, they introduced me to her as Charlatan, so that's what I'm gonna keep calling her until they explain why the hell they calling her Nania. As far as I know, her name is Charlatan. Okay, that's what I'm calling her.
His name your mama gave you. That's what I'm gonna call you.
But yeah, so you were correct. The Beast is Jean-Jacques, but that is also one of our theories that was theorizing when the season first started. It was like, the Beast could be Jean-Jacques because, just because John A was saying that it might be Chloe is not it's not may not just be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it did turn out to be John Jack, which is like I said, it's not. It did catch me off guard, because this was something that we was theorizing on.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it
they
did
were
catch me off
calling.
guard.
They said there was a beast and a white witch, and I mean, like Chloe got white hair. I don't. She also the beast. I don't know. I was like, I don't think so. Especially the way she kept kind of dodging the question when Noi showed up. So
Yeah.
we finally got a confirmation on that.
And then, so is also as far as our whole time travel situation that we got going on in case the Vanitas, we found out that they're actually stuck in a time loop. They didn't. I guess you could still say technically they went back in time, but they're stuck in a time loop. They didn't necessarily fully just like go back in time, which is weird. We're assuming that, at least I'm assuming that this time loop was created by Chloe's curse. That's what I'm assuming. Since Chloe's curse is not being the beast, I'm assuming that her curse was to create this time loop or whatever that happened. So what do you think about that?
I don't necessarily disagree because Vanitas did mention in the episode that this time loop might be is probably the cause of a curse bear. I was just for me personally, I thought it was more of the alteration engine because the moment she started using it, it seemed like the loop came right back around. But it could be possible that it could be her curse. We'll probably get more into why that is later on in the episode, but they did show basically kind of like a scene that someone made. It seemed like Chloe made a deal that could have resulted in stuff constantly repeating due to what had happened to something that happened to Jean and her.
Correct.
In their past.
Correct. Also, this episode we learned Chloe's true intention with the alteration engine. So we thought at the beginning, towards the episode, we thought that her intention was going to be destroy all of Guavadon, but then we quickly find out that was not her intention, and her true intention for the alteration engine was to use it to destroy Charlatan. She wanted to give Charlatan a physical form so that she can actually kill her.
And that is basically where the episode ended, was right there. Mm-hmm. But, which is crazy. Because I thought that was crazy. I was pointing out to Ace earlier, before we got on the camera, that I was like, this is a great scene because it was set up for it, and the fact that she was talking to Nenania about how Noi and John Jack were getting along so well, and how like she would be, she's surprised she's not jealous or something like that. Like, you're such an adult, because if it was me, somebody touching the things I owned, I'd get really upset. And Chloe was like, "No, I'm very childish. I am getting upset. I do get upset about that." And the whole time you think they're just talking about Noi, but Chloe was like, "Hey, well, fuck you." That's what I'm upset about, because later on we find out that basically I already said it, that Jean-Jacques made a deal with Nenania and basically made him a cursed vampire, and that is what this whole thing was alluding to, that Nenania basically got in Jean-Jacques' head and made him into something Chloe never wanted him to be.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it's sad because Jean-Jacques was the only other person / vampire that Chloe came into contact with too, besides Lord Ruthven. But then Lord Ruthven turned on him. Yeah,
and then she didn't get to see Jeanne again until she came to destroy the beast. And
it was
which another thing we found out this episode was that when Jeanne did come back to fight the beast, she actually never truly fought it. She saw Chloe and Jean-Jacques basically like on this mountaintop, and she was posed like she was geared up, like she was ready to fight, but she didn't go through with it.
Yeah. And then that led to Chloe jumping off the cliff and committing suicide. But then at that point,
she had made her deal.
That's when she made her deal with Charlatan. So I'm assuming at that point is probably when the time loop was made, right there. But then, they didn't confirm that though. Yeah. The only thing they did confirm though is that was the moment where she made her deal with Charlatan though. Mm-hmm. So, but the time loop could have been made at a different point though.
Yeah, and and also in relation to like the reason that was happening. So we found out that uh, Chloe became like a curse bearer because of that and trying to like escape with Jean Jacques. But the reason those things happened was we found out that the church, oh well, it's not fully confirmed yet, but Vanitas theorized that the church was trying to hunt down Chloe as a vampire, but after the war with humans, vampire hunts became outlawed. So the church probably orchestrated people in the town of Gavendon to believe in the beast,
Correct.
and that Chloe herself was the reason it was happening, and so that their hunts could continue.
Which makes a lot of sense, but then at the same time, from that instance, Chloe figured that she found out that it's basically people that was sent after her was basically the people from Lord Ruthven. And you can, I guess, with all that being said, the reason why he did that because he knows about the alteration engine, so he probably made, quote unquote, made all this up so he can go and kill Chloe and then take the alteration engine
for himself
and use it for his own purposes. Which I didn't think about at first because it also in this episode they mentioned how John Jack did become the beast, but before he became the beast, that somebody else was doing all the killings and stuff. And then that's when we found out about the church and everything like that. But now now it makes sense because if Lord Ruthven was the one behind the attacks, then the reason why he sent his people out there and stuff was because he already knew about the alteration engine. So he was just he going to get the alteration engine basically.
Yeah, the perfect
which
setup.
Which makes complete sense. Once it all comes back around, it makes complete sense. But do you have anything else, for this section?
No, I think that's as much as detail as we really got to learn from like this specific episode. Seems like next episode we're going to be getting a fight between Noi and Astolfo though, and then like Chloe but if that's a fight, I don't know because it does not look like that. It looked like she's just gonna straight up murder her. But yeah, like to move on from there to talk about like some favorite scenes I had.
We got dislikes first.
Oh, that's right. It's dislikes first. So
if you have any.
So for me with this episode, I didn't really find anything I disliked about it. I thought the way like the events happened and the way they were orchestrated made sense, especially since I was like. It was confirming some theories I had about like the setting and the where we were initially for like this anyway. So I didn't really feel like there was anything wrong, or I didn't even have let's say a slight nitpick for this episode. You got anything?
Okay. No, the only thing, like I said, I really didn't have any dislikes or nitpicks as well for this episode. The only really thing I could nitpick is just them just still calling Charlotte Tanania. Is just still out of nowhere.
Throwing you off,
They didn't even, like they're not explaining it. Like was there a name change somewhere along the line? Like I just need an explanation. Like if the writers just decided to change her name to Nania for some reason, I don't know. They just don't explain it, and it's just confusing.
Yeah,
unless her name change has significance that's going to get revealed later on. It's just confusing.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know how Charlton's going to get out of the predicament they have her in currently, but they might like do some backflash, like some flashbacks to basically maybe like Charlton before she became whatever the type of entity she is currently.
Yeah, but other than that, no, I don't really have any dislikes for this episode. Like I said, everything just when all the stuff that we learned all fit together so well. So I mean, I don't have any complaints out of this episode at all.
Mm-hmm. And then, to get to the likes, I get real quick. Some of my favorite scenes for this episode were just like really like for instance, I think the scene between when Jean and Chloe had like when she had came to confront her about being the beast. I really enjoyed that because like you got to see the chaos that was happening like with the villagers and everything, and like how that had all been set up, and then you just get like this look of I don't know, it was like anger, but also I don't regret almost on Jean's face when she came to confront Chloe, because it was like I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to. Like you're a danger, and then Chloe just looking like, oh man, we can't fight. I'm not gonna fight basically. You. Like
yeah, because then at the same like I thought Chloe was gonna be like oh yeah, it's Janae. Like, you're the Hellfire Witch. All this is good. Like, we're saved. But then she was like, okay, well, since it's you, come kill us. Like, you wanted to be killed by the hands of Janae, the person, like one of the persons that you've been waiting to see again for X amount of years, and you finally get to see her again. It's just like, oh, thank God it's you. Now, please kill me. Like,
I guess it's like if anyone was to do it, I'm glad it's you kind of situation, but it was just terrible. I think that's why at the end she just kind of decided to jump off because she was like, I can't make you do that.
yeah, I agree. So one of my favorite scenes for this episode is when Vanitas finally catches up to Noe, and then right after he like punches him in the head, Mur pulls up with Noe's coat and then just straight punches him as well, yeah. Which I thought was hilarious because Mur is just always around for some real reason, like even in danger, like he's just there, like just chilling, just always. And it was just funny how he pulled up with the coat and like, you left this motherfucker, okay, just socked his ass.
Take this shit, yeah. No, that shit was that was funny. Mur is definitely probably like the comedic relief when they do give Mur screen time. But like I did like Vanitas and Noi's reunion because it was so funny because Noi was like, I didn't know that I was so worried about you. I didn't know if you survived, and Vanitas is like, you were worried. What about me? and then Noi's like, huh? What you saying? He's like, nothing. And it's like,
it's like, oh, so you do care about me, huh?
and they just go right past that, and then Mur punches him and then like Mur punches him in the face. It was just a really funny scene.
Yeah.
And then like to piggyback off that, I think Noi, the preparation of Noi trying to fight Astolfo, that's another scene I really like because they came into contact and Vanitas was like, oh, god dang it, now we gotta deal with the church. And Noi's like, hey, just let me handle this because he already
know that boy No Way can box too, so he's ready this time. He ain't boxing for real last time, and Noah like, all right, this round two.
Yeah, I was about to say, he got caught off guard. He said, look, let's handle this shit today.
He's like, look, you snuck me last time, but this time, no, we're gonna get our proper round.
Oh yeah, we about to throw them bows.
So that definitely should be a good fight next episode.
Yeah, I look forward to it, especially like just with the whole setup of like what's going on right now because like John Jack is out, Chloe got Nanania / Charlatan tied up, Vanitas looking for his book. It's wild.
Yeah. And then my last favorite scene, at least this last one I got, was at the very end of the episode when we got the plot twist that Charlatan wasn't trying to destroy Guavadon and she was actually trying to destroy Charlatan. Just like I said, just because you got to see when she used the alteration engine, then it pulls up the whole big view of the world phone and everything, and then it just zoomed in on Charlatan's being, and then she morphed into her own body and stuff like that, and she's all tied up and stuff. Like, it just for the fact that it was the plot twist, because it was like, damn, like I definitely did not expect this at all. Like at all, that the fact that she was trying to kill Charlatan was her true goal totally caught me off guard. And then for the fact that how she trying to go about it was like, I can't physically touch you, so I need to be able to give you a body somehow. You know what? That's what I'm gonna use the alteration engine for. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's wow.
Yeah, no, and even like the look of Charlatan's physical form is just so interesting because I'm just like, what is this? Are you like what type of entity are you? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So besides that one, I did have one more. It was just like when Vanitas. It was like actually right before that when Vanitas showed up and asked Chloe, like announced to Chloe who he was, and then he was like, "Where's my book?" And Chloe's like, "What book?" And he's like, "The Book of Vanitas. You know the blue bound book with the black pages. Oh, it's somewhere in here. Somewhere in here." He is like,
we're in a library full of books just scattered everywhere. What do you mean somewhere in here?
It was so funny because every other vampire is like so scared of the name the Vanitas and then the Book of Vanitas, and Chloe's just like, what? I tried to get the jewel from it. I couldn't do it, and so I just told John to put it wherever. And he's just like, what? How the huh?
Yeah. Which is interesting because that means that Chloe knows nothing about Vanitas, which is understandable because she's been in Guavadon her whole life.
Yeah,
but just just for the fact that I guess Vanitas never went to Wildbound to mess with Chloe or nothing. But at the same time, I guess how would he know about her because she was a secret. But it's just interesting. She doesn't know about Vanitas, so like you say, she's not scared of the name of the mention of that as well. She's just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I threw that book somewhere. It's somewhere around
right
here.
here.
Like,
I mean, you can look for it if you want to.
yeah, it's somewhere around here, which is even funny because now with all this stuff going on, he's gonna have to fight and scurge around and look for the book at the same time, which is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, and it also it really begs the question: I'm just wondering, can they defeat Charlatan without the book or not?
And maybe now because she actually has a physical form.
And then
probably before this, I would probably say no.
And then I guess also it's like, how long is it going to take them to find it to the point where like, will they be able to heal Jean, Jack, and Chloe of their curses before something really bad happens to them? Because I feel like we getting set up for some really emotional damage and stuff to happen.
I agree,
and I'm not here for it. Like I'm here to watch. I'm here for the story, but I don't want to get hurt. Okay.
I agree. My dog is being very clingy right now. He is not wanting to leave me alone. But all right, so we can just move on straight into the episode rating. I think I'm gonna give this one a solid 7.
Okay, that was also what I was going to give it as well.
Okay, because I mean, we got a lot of story reveal and world building in this episode, and then just the major plot twist at the end, which with Chloe, that the fact that like I said, she's actually trying to destroy Charlatan, just completely caught me off guard.
Okay,
this was the last thing I was expecting for her to her to use the alteration engine with.
Yeah, because the whole time they were acting buddy. Like Nenania was like Chloe's like pet bird that you see on pirate shoulders, just like wrapping herself around and everything. So when that happened, I was just like, wow, this is okay. What is going to happen from this point on,
Yeah. So like I said, solid 7. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. It was very nice setup to I think what might happen next episode.
Though. No, I agree. Next episode should be a good one. It definitely should be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely looking forward to it. So, we're going to move on. That's the end of Case Study of Vanitas. So, we're going to move on from this anime. We're going to head to our next anime we got for today. We're going to be talking about Attack on Titan, episode 80 from 2,000 years ago. And this was another wild episode. Like, every new episode that keeps coming out, it just has me thinking, like, what have the manga readers been complaining about? I just want to know, like, what is upsetting the manga readers.
I would also. This is one I have not read, even though except for just a little bit when it was on that very long hiatus.
Because
this had a lot of of like just story, and it's just crazy, like all the revelations that we're getting from even past like last episode, because last episode had a hell of a lot in my opinion.
Hell yeah, so, and this one had just as much as well. So I mean, going into straight into what we learned. On this episode, we got to actually see Ymir's past in this episode, and we got to learn that Ymir was a slave, which is interesting because we find out that she's a slave to the royal bloodline and stuff like that. But we actually got to learn that most of this came to be because she was an actual slave in her original life, which is wild. Which it also ties into something else we learned. I'm just going to say this because it's part of what we learned from Ymir's past and stuff, that Eldia and Marley have been fighting with each other since the founding Ymir's days. So this struggle is not new. They've been fighting with each other for years, which is wild. Like the king of Eldia just pulled up one day to Ymir's town, slaughtered and enslaved their whole town. It was just wild.
Yeah, and then took her it's crazy, just the implication of like how this all started. Like we knew that Eldia and Marley had been fighting for like a long time, but to take it all the way back to the founding of the Titan, like the founding of Titans,
it's just wow,
even crazier.
So you like it's just like I said, like you just mean to tell me this been going on for this long? Like you said, we know they've been fighting for a minute, but just like you said, the fact that it's just going all the way back to the founding of Ymir's time is just crazy. It's just crazy, all because we're not sure what their conflict was between LD and Marley. All we know is just that the king of Eldia pulled up to Ymir's town and just slaughtered and enslaved everybody.
I mean, if I had
we went from there.
If I had to guess, I'm assuming it's the fact that the king of Eldia just wanted everything. He said, "Look, I got."
If I had to guess, I would guess that as well. He's just going for world domination and stuff like that.
He's like, "Look, I'm the king of this. I can take whatever I want until somebody stop me." And lo and behold, I got this slave girl for some reason who can turn to a Titan at any point and does not do shit to me. I don't get that, but regardless.
Yeah. Hey. So speaking of that, so we're just going to ahead touch up on this as well. So we, along with Ymir's past, we also found out how she came into contact with her founding Titan's powers. So basically, this is also wild. Anyways, she was outed out by the rest of the slaves as she let one of the pigs loose, and snitched. I guess she basically got snitched on. I don't even know if she was exactly, but they all basically just snitched on her. My question is, why is a pig getting loose such a serious offense? I don't know, but regardless, it was such a serious offense that they was gonna cut out one eye from all the slaves if they didn't find out who it was. As soon as they found out who it was, they went on a manhunt to kill her. Which, once again, I don't understand why losing a pig is gonna cost me my life. But yet here we are. Ymir's running for her dear life from her pursuers, just shooting arrows at her and stuff. And she finds this big ass tree, which basically resembles the coordinate. And she goes into the tree, falls into a pool of water, and lo and behold, go ahead and tell them what we found, McMillian.
So it's either a parasite or something. It looks like a parasite, like it looks like a clear centipede, weird type thing. Attaches itself to the back of like Ymir's body, and then she takes on the form of the founding Titan. And then from there, they just kind of go on like this little montage of showing the fact that like, Ymir throughout the years began to help the Eldia nation conquer and take whatever they wanted.
Yes.
To the point where like the king is like, I'm going to reward you by you having my children, because that's what everybody wants. and then all the way up until Ymir passed due to the fact of like her trying to protect the king, and the way they're like, okay, so the Ymir's power must be preserved, and that is where we get the fact that the king decided to feed their mom to his kids, and that is how the Titans' powers were passed down. You thought it was just with the Titans in the shift, and no, it was real people eating other real people, and it just spanned from generation to generation. And you get this really I'll bring it up in my favorite scenes, but you get this really cool scene to illustrate how Ymir was involved in all of that. But
yeah, but it's just wild because they finally revealed to us basically how Eldia became this dominant, force, and it's okay. It's okay, buddy. All right, now calm down. But anyways, we finally get revealed, how Eldia became this dominant force, and it makes sense because back in the olden times, nobody has nothing to compete with a Titan. You know what I mean? It's just what can you do against a Titan with a sword and a spear? It's all right. Come on now, don't be doing all this, sir.
Sebastian said, "You trying to get on this podcast review?"
He is upset at something. Well, yeah, but back in that time, there's nothing somebody can do against a Titan with a fucking sword and a spear. It's just like you can't beat it. So it's understandable why they dominated so early, because it happened during the times where their only weapons was like stuff like sword, shields, and spears and arrows and stuff like that. It made complete sense why they went on a total domination. There's literally nothing in the world right now that can truly stop the Titan. The only way that I see it happen is they just have so many forces that they just somehow outnumbered Ymir. But I mean, she was never fighting alone though. So
That was like a statistical impossibility considering
Yeah,
he
so
had
it
the
was like
whole.
the chance of that happening is very slim to none. So it's just it just makes complete sense, like why they went on total world domination. Nothing can stop a Titan. Well,
At that,
except for at that point in time,
yeah.
there was nothing that could stop a Titan at that point in time.
The,
But as we all know now, we got means of taking these guys out.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is just wild, just wild. Did you want? I guess we
So
can touch this. We can touch upon this. It's just this just gets into a lot of the weird discussions on time travel and stuff like that. And,
yeah, we probably don't necessarily need to go that deep into it. But
okay, so all right, well we won't go deep into it then. But basically, the point in time to where Aaron was able to actually talk to Grisha. One, we did get a confirmation that it was Aaron at that point in time that Grisha was actually seeing and hearing at that time when Aaron was speaking to him and forcing him, edging him on to actually kill the Fine Titan. But then two, that moment could only happen because Zeke brought him into the coordinate to view his dad's memory and stuff like that. So from that, we assuming that if Zeke does not bring him in, that moment can't happen. But then at the same time, we was talking this. I was talking this about McMillian off camera. He only realized this after he kissed Historia's hand and stuff like that,
which causes a lot of like. Is this a fixed point? Like, how does this all work if he never touched Historia's hand?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's like the whole thing, like we were talking about last episode, like how this all seemed to work on the future Aaron's grand design for this to happen, basically.
And so we could talk about this later for about the next 30 minutes on how like this weird time travel stuff could be. It's just like, would this happen if Aaron did not have did this happen? Or was this moment always predestined to happen? Like, was Aaron always predestined to end up here at the coordinate with Zeke and stuff like that, and therefore that this moment will always happen no matter what? I don't know. We could, like I said, we could go on and on about this, so we're just not going to go too deep into that. It's just
that's an interesting fact that we
it's just
that this episode reveals. And lastly, for like things learned, everybody, he did it. Aaron did it. He got what he wanted. And we finally figured out exactly what his intentions were.
Is. Yeah.
And it was to basically what he said before in the season 3. If we kill all our enemies across the sea, will we truly be free? I'll say this. Aaron is nothing but consistent because the moment he got the Divine Titan power, he released the rumbling. It happened. It all started. And he reveals a message to the subjects of Ymir. So basically all the Eldians. And he tells them that I'm going to use the rumbling powers to kill everyone else except Eldia. The people
us.
with the... Yeah, basically us.
Us, basically.
And now we are in a weird thing where I think Ace was making a joke where he's like, Aaron, you are a pro-antagonist or something.
Yeah, I like, because like I'm just like legit, like I just don't understand. Like on the protagonist side, like I understand it because like you're trying to save your people, but then at the same time you're gonna kill everybody in the world. Like that's some antagonist type shit right there.
Yeah, that's villain. That's villainry.
Like on one hand, yeah, you're saving your people, but then on the other hand, you're completely killing everybody else in the world. Come on, Aaron, but where's the balance in this?
There is no balance. He said, look, freedom. Freedom. I am chaos incarnate, he said.
Yes, basically. And it's just every episode of Attack on Titan just been wild one after another. And that just
my biggest question moving forward is what are the people of LD going to do? Because obviously it's like we can't. I'm wondering, are they thinking we can't let this happen? Can we?
Yes, because which brings me to my next point is. So I looked it up. So I'm not sure if this is true or not, but from one of these news articles I found, apparently, the final season part 2 is supposed to be 12 episodes long, and if that is the case, what the fuck is supposed to happen from this point on? Like I am confusing. Like I have no idea what we could do for if it is truly the case that we're supposed to be getting 12 episodes. Is at the time of this release, I think it's been 5 episodes now so far. So that means we've got like a total of 7 episodes left. what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What the hell is going to happen from this point
I'm
on?
I'm really wondering because Armin, like at the end of this episode, Armin and Mikasa were just like, "Yay, he did it!" And then they're just like, "Wait, hold on, pause. That's way too many Titans. What's about to hold on, my G? What's about to happen?" And like you get a perspective from them. Yelena is looking at like, "Oh shit, what happened to Zeke? This wasn't Zeke's plan to do all this."
It's just wild. And then, speaking on that about all the Titans and stuff, the last little interesting fact that we did learn today is that the walls of paradise were named after Ymir's
first children.
Yeah, her 3 children, which is just a small interesting fact. I thought that was cool. But other than that, it's just wild. Like I have completely no idea what the fuck what Attack on Titan has in store. If we truly have 7 episodes left, what the hell is supposed to be happening?
Yeah, because there's definitely, as you pointed out before, there's definitely enough time for, I guess, whatever fuckery that the manga readers didn't like to rear its head. So, and I don't know. I'm along for the ride right now. I'm strapped in because
100% along for the ride. Like I said, from the beginning of this, final season part 2, every episode has been a banger. Every single one. Like you said, I'm along for the ride too, but like at this point, what bullshit can happen? Because we just got the reveal of the Eren found Titan, and he started rumbling. Mm-hmm. What can possibly happen from this point on? Like, how can they compete against that? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. But I guess we'll find out here in this next few episodes. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to dislikes. Do you have any for this episode, McMillian?
No, but I know you do. So I'll
give
you the floor.
I'm gonna say this. I'm calling bullshit on the Parasite. I'm just gonna straight up call it. Argue with your mama, not me. I don't know how I feel about the way that this Parasite is just shit. Like, okay, I understand. I'm not. This is what I'm saying. I can understand that there is maybe some creatures and shit in this big ass tree, because why not? It's a fat ass tree, bugs who live in it and shit like that. But just some mystical parasite chilling in the water, ready to hand out Titan powers to anybody dumb enough to fall in here. It's just wild to me.
From what it sounds like to you, it sounds much too convenient for this thing to have just been in there waiting for somebody for it to have happened. For me, I don't know. I mean, like they've already said before, like the Titans were like a gift from God. The tree could have been connected to some bullshit. I don't know. Look, if I start asking questions about a giant flesh mech anime, what am I really doing? Like, what?
I mean, if you're gonna have an anime about giant flesh mechs and shit, at least have the origins of them be somewhat similar to giant flesh mechs. God damn it, and not just some floating, non-biased, transparent centipede chilling in the water, waiting for some dumbass to follow in. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like I'm not like in terms of anime wise, I understand. There's dumbest shit has happened in other animes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's not the part I'm really pissed off about. It's just I don't know. I guess I'm just perplexed that this was what gave Ymir her Titan powers. I'm out of all the things that could have gave her powers, this was the last thing that came. That would have came to mind.
Yeah, because I think what you said off camera was like you assumed like it was just some giant, it
could just be some giant Titan was just always here for some reason, just chilling. It could have been hurt or some shit, or just always. It could have just been imbued into the tree or some bullshit like that, and just chilling. It was just always there, watching over the land of the people or some shit, and you may just stumbled in and see the Titan. The Titan just reaches out to her. Oh, my child, I will save you.
Yeah, and I mean that wouldn't have been bad either. It's just for me. I'm just like, okay, what the fuck. It's where I'm just like, okay. I mean, mystical shit, weirder shit I've seen happen. So I'm just like, all right, cool. The parasite is the thing that gave people the ability to become Titans. I ain't mad at it. It's odd. It's a very odd choice, but I ain't mad at it.
That's all. It's just like I said. I'm just very. I don't know. It's just like out of all the things that could have done that would have just been the last thing I thought was it. But here the fuck we are. Here we are. Which I guess we can just go ahead and go straight into favorite scenes. So go ahead and hit us with it, McMillian. What's some of your favorite scenes from this episode?
So watching seeing the Fight on Titan, I think for the first time was really dope. Like you get Ymir is so cool too because it's huge. It's like bigger, as big or possibly bigger than the Colossal Titan, I think. And had like this skull face. Her ribs cage is coming out partially, and you just see it like decimating in the battlefields and all that. Like it was just a really nice scene to.
Like I said, what could stop her?
What could stop her?
Actually, you know what? No, pause before we go too far. I do have one more dislike. It just came back to my head. I'm sorry, everybody. Pause. Speaking on that, like after Ymir did get her powers, why the fuck did she not overthrow the king?
Stockholm syndrome. I don't know. I thought that was dumb too. But
you literally have nobody in this army can touch you. Nobody.
I'm definitely.
You can literally turn into a Titan and just take the fuck over. Like this could be your kingdom. This could be your kingdom.
Obviously, if it was me or you, we see what we would have done. But like, I definitely think if anything, it's probably related to like the mental probably damage that came with becoming like a slave. Because like, I mean, as we know, in regular history, there were people like the famous quote from Rosa Parks that I would have saved 1,000 more slaves if only they knew they were slaves, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, no, not Rosa Parks. That's a misquote. It was not Rosa Parks.
meant Harriet Tubman.
Yes, thank you.
I got you. I got you, Chief.
Thank you.
Our Black history over here.
Yeah, I was like, thank you. I was like, wait, that wasn't Rosa Parks. But like, I'm assuming the reason she just didn't go ape shit after becoming a Titan is because of that fact. Like, that she truly did not recognize how bad it could have been. Because, like, another thing, and this goes into a little bit of my favorite scenes, we see Ymir throughout the years still doing the bidding of the royal family, like, creating more and more Titans within this, like, inside the coordinate world that she's was a part of. Like, she was responsible for the creation of, like, the Titan shifters that came after her, like what they would look like, and then also probably the Titans that were put in the wall. Like she was a slave even after death, which is crazy to think about. Like
wild. Like even in death, like you said, still a slave due to the King of Eldia's bidding. It's just crazy.
We was Titans. God damn, we was Titans. We was Titans. But like it's just. Oh man, I don't know those two scenes. I was just like, man, it's crazy. But I mean, I understand that's more of like a nitpick on the character. Than I feel like
I feel you. No, 100%.
But that's why it didn't really bother me as much because I'm assuming it was due to like the mental damage of like she truly could not recognize the fact that she had after becoming Titan, she had all the power to do with what she willed. She just was a slave for so long she didn't know what free will was even like anymore,
Yeah, I mean those are basically also my favorite scenes as well from this episode. So no need to really go into them as well as I already mentioned it, how basically we got to see Elder become the empire that it was because they had Ymir on their side and stuff like that. So that was dope as well.
I mean, like even like issue further, this is another like of my favorite scenes. Not to cut you off, but like Eren, who. While in the coordinate, after Zeke had given the command to euthanize everybody, Eren ripped himself free of his chains and like grabbed her and was like, "Don't you just like I'll stop everything. You don't have to do this shit no more. Like you can be free as long as you like allow me to be." And like you finally see her anger and frustration like on her face, like her tears run down and stuff like that. Like that in itself was, I felt like a really good, just brought home to the fact of like even like. Eren probably being the perfect person to confront her with it because his whole stance is freedom.
Yeah. Also, with that scene, that was the first time they actually drew in Ymir's eyes as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because we never get to see her eyes.
So you can see the full expression on her face, which was awesome. Which we just added to the extra emotion to the scene. So I agree. That was a dope scene as well. But I mean, like I said, you already touched up on all my favorite scenes for this episode as well. So like I said, there's really no need to go back and touch upon them again. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, so it's just one last thing. Okay. When time came back.
Oh, that part. I agree. But I guess I thought you was also playing that assuming that you was bringing that into as well when you was talking about when we first got to see Aaron's Fountain Titan. So I guess you already. I just assumed that that was also part of the scene you was referring to as well.
Oh, a little bit. Well, a little bit, kind of. It was just more of like. I guess I did touch up on it a little bit, but like when we get to see the centipede thing attach itself to Aaron's head, and then
which is
him
wild.
become the Valentine. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And all the fights that were happening, like such as like Armin and Mikasa fighting the cart titan, and then the walls coming down at the same time. So it's like, well, yo, what's happening to the people
Yeah,
of Marley?
it immediately takes back place, like where like is it like legit. Aaron Zeke is still catching Aaron in his hand and stuff like that. It picks up right back there. It's just wild.
And then it just lets you. And then it's like the big question is like, yo, what is about to happen after this? Because we don't know. The only stats we know is that like certain Eldians are because like when Aaron did the call to all Eldians, we saw some of them and like the flashes, but I don't think he showed Zeke at all. So I don't know if Zeke is alive after Aaron transformed like right in front of his fucking right in front of his face. We know that Raynor had rushed to try and save Gabby, with her being so close to it as well, and we did get a shot of Falco passed out after eating.
I must have missed that.
He was. Missed that. It's very easy to miss because it was like they just flashed to him for just a second. He's like laying down in the sand of the coordinate world, but it was there, and it just leaves you like wanting more. Like, what is? I need to see what else is about to happen with this shit because this is fucking wild.
All right, so with that being said, we're just gonna move slap on to the rating for this episode, and I'll ask you first. What would you give this episode? I went first last time.
I 8.5, 8.5. The reason I feel like this isn't a 9, and the only thing is because we don't necessarily get to see the culmination of everything. Like, if I had to choose a gripe with anything about this episode, a decent amount of it was spent like somewhat on like last episode's revelation, and then we get mostly Ymir backstory. But the thing is, we needed that backstory kind of to understand.
I'm about to say the Ymir backstory was GOAT.
Yeah, I said we need. That's what. But I was like, if I had to give it like a because last episode I gave it like a 9, but that was more so because we get to see Aaron's culmination of like everything leading up to that to the moment we got in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, the reason for me if this feels like an 8 is because it does like. It does a lot. It's just missing. I feel like the payoff of this episode is going to happen in the next episode more so than this one because we get to see the Founding Titan. It's just what's about to happen? Because we know what everything that he has it. It's just a question of like what if leading forward. So and it's really weird when you review a TV show because technically episodes can fall or rise depending on the episode following.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going to give it a 10, but I was trying to debate with myself whether it was a 9 or an 8. Because, like, in my opinion, like, just for the fact that we actually got Ymir's backstory, this episode is wild in its own self. Then even more for the fact that, how we already talked about it, if we do truly have 7 episodes left in this final season, what the fuck is possibly going to happen from this point on? Like, I just don't know. Like, are Armin and Mikasa, are they going to turn on Aaron after what they just learned? Like, no, we don't think you should kill the entire world. And are they going to try and stop him then? Because then now, okay, when they do have a weapon on his head, they'll have the Colossal Titan. But it's like, I just don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, big.
So I mean, I'm stuck between an 8 and a 9.
Big questions. I think that's fair. Like I said, I was kind of having a hard time. I just more settled on 8 because I felt like the payoff of this episode is going to be next episode, and we got a lot of great things. It just was, I don't know. I wasn't feeling like it was 9 to like it didn't make me feel as much as last episode did. Which I don't know if that's like bad or good on my part, but hey.
I feel you. Well, if you're listening to this episode, comment down below what you think the rating for this episode is. We would love to know your opinions on this. And with that being said, we're gonna move on from Attack on Titan We're gonna go into our last anime we have here for the day, and oh my gosh, did they go off this episode? Demon Slayer, everybody. The
Boxing Slayer.
Entertainment District Arc, episode 10. Never give up.
And truly,
and boy, oh boy,
did they not give up? My God.
So just right off the bat, I'm just going to say this: it was not much we learned today, but just for continuity and sake of our format, here is some small stuff that we did learn today. So one, we did get to see not Tanjiro, Zenitsu pull out a new move. He has another move to his one form already. It's called Godspeed.
Well, it's not a
Flash Godspeed.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not necessarily a new form. It's just like an evolution of like 6 of the move already, like sixfold. Yeah, Godspeed.
So,
man,
so he pulled that out today. Apparently, he can only use it twice at a time, like when he's first battling and stuff like that. But it's dope as shit though. I'm so glad that he has another something else hidden under his sleeve.
Kept that in his pocket for the right moment.
For the right moment. Something else we learned today is just fucking apparently my boy Nelsuke is immune to poison. Apparently,
you said Nelsuke?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because it sounded like you said Nezuko, and I was like, huh?
No. Yeah. No. Apparently, he's immune to poison. That he can also shift around his organs in his body, which I'm not surprised about that part because he's this man right here. He can dislocate all his bones and fit into a little ass hole. So I'm not surprised that he could shift his damn organs around at all. I'm more surprised about the fact that he's just apparently immune to poison.
Is it?
All of
yeah.
a sudden.
I thought that was weird even when I read that in the manga. I was like, how does living in the mountains make you immune? You gonna have to explain this to me.
Like, but I'm a little mad of it though.
I'll do the organs thing because we have already seen that Inosuke with his body can do.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll give you that. I'll give you that part. But the immunity to poison, like you said, how did you just living in the mountains automatically make you immune to poison? Unless you ran into a lot of poison creatures and stuff like that, then okay. But anyways, like I said, I'm letting him have it.
Also, we found out this episode that Tengen can apparently use his muscles to stop his heart, which allowed him to
fucking crazy.
Which allowed him to not get killed, taken out by the poison like we thought he had last episode.
Fucking crazy.
But he did have to make himself pass out, so that's why we thought he was dead. And then finally, within the culmination of everything, I'm not going to describe the scene, but finally, the last thing we learned in this episode, it seems like the sun breather mark or whatever that Rengoku's dad was referring to earlier in this season, Tanjiro may not have been born with it, but he seems to be able to manifest it if given enough effort, because we saw it at the end of the episode. I'll get to the description later because I'm pretty sure that's that's definitely like in a favorite episode, right? Like that.
Oh my gosh, that shit was wild. But anyways, that's pretty much all we learned from this episode. We're gonna move straight into dislikes. I don't think either of us have any real dislikes for this episode because I think boy,
I think we already touched on our small nitpick, which
the only small nitpick that it's the smallest nitpick that you could ever have in that show. The only thing I had was like there's a scene where Zenitsu, when Zenitsu uses his Godspeed and then somehow Inosuke catches up to him. When I saw that, I was just like, how the fuck did you catch up to Zenitsu using his Godspeed? But then at the same time, like I said, that scene was lit as fuck anyways, though. So like I'm not putting too much on it. That's like one of the smallest nitpicks ever. But definitely still not taking away from my enjoyment of the episode. Because like I said, that scene itself was fire. But that's it. So just moving on straight into our favorite scenes. And boy, oh boy, I'm just say this right now. The whole damn episode. Like I just
yes,
they did they from thing with this episode.
So I'm sorry, this might be long simply because just the Demon Slayer thing. But from the moment in the beginning when Gyutaro was talking shit to Tanjiro,
he talking mad shit, boy. I'm just like, damn.
Big I fucked your bitch vibes. Big I fucked your bitch vibes. He broke his fingers. He's egging him on, and then he offers to make him a demon because he's so weak. It wasn't even like out of like, for instance, Akaza offered Rengoku to become a demon out of like respect for him being a warrior. But Gyutaro was like, you need it. You not strong. Like, who the fuck
Which
is
is
you?
wild. But then at the same time, it's like, I guess he also took pity on him because, like, even though he did mention that the only sisters he cared about is his sister, but I guess
But
just for the fact that he was a brother and that he was an older brother as well, and he was like,
yeah.
you know what, your younger sister is stronger than you. You shouldn't be like this. Well, yeah, she is a demon. He was like, oh, wait a minute, how about this? Why don't you just become a demon? Then you can protect your sister.
Another thing I really liked about that scene was Daki being like, "What the bro? What the fuck you doing?"
Yeah, she was like, "I'm not cool with that."
Is that what the hell?
Yeah, it's just wild. But yeah, just that whole first 8 minutes of the show when Gyatoro was just straight talking shit to Tanjiro is just wild.
And then 2 minutes after that, Tanjiro tries to take off running, and you was like, "Damn, my boy going out sad." He just trying to escape? That's crazy. That's not.
He's just straight talking. Like the whole first 8 minutes of this episode is legit just Gyatoro talking shit.
And then Tanjiro's like, "Look, man, I know I can't do it." So we think, and then Tanjiro takes off running, and you're just like, "Well, I mean, I can't blame him.
Not at all.
I can't. We know he can't." And then Gyatoro's just like, basically dashes in front of him, kicks him off to the side. Is like, "Boy, where do you think you're going? We was having a conversation." I don't know how you thought you was gonna outrun me, but lo and behold, I'm not gonna See, that's Sebastian telling me to stop describing the episode, but I can't, Sebastian. It's the whole episode. He catches him. Tanjiro catches him off guard, gets him with one of the poison kunai, and use that chance as an opening to slash Gyutoro's head off.
Yes,
and for a second, you think he about to get it.
So let me stop you right there. So when that scene was happening, like he's just randomly throwing stuff at Gyatoro, I didn't see like the kunai, but like I went back and watched it like a second time, and you can actually see the frame where he throws the kunai. They don't show it, but you can, if you're paying close attention, you can see which frame it is. He actually threw the kunai, but when I first watched it the first time, I thought that like that bag he threw at him, I thought that was like a bag of hysteria or something. So I thought the bag was going to be able to was going to actually fuck up Gyatoro, and not that him having a kunai. So which was also was another shock factor, because I thought, like I said, I thought that pouch or bag he threw was like a bag of hysteria or something. But apparently he was just using that to cover the scent of the kunai.
Which such a goddamn.
Yeah. It's just wild.
And then from there, because I'm trying not to describe the episode fully, but like we get Zenitsu popping off with the Godspeed, which insane, by the way, because it was just like you don't even necessarily see him, you just see of energy, and he catches Daki from like intercepting them, and he instantly goes, well, not instantly, but he cuts off all his ribbons, and then he unleashes his second burst of Godspeed to go directly for the head. And it's like, oh shit, well, if Tanjiro can get Gyutoro, that's it, we got it. But
I was waiting for Zenitsu to pop his ass up that rubble the entire episode, because like as Gyutoro is talking shit to Tanjiro, he mentions how he's going through everybody, like, this guy's dead, he's hurt, I stabbed the boy in the heart, and he was like, look at that guy over there, the building fell on him, and I'm not even gonna bother killing him, I'm just gonna let him die. Yeah. I immediately knew, I was like, that's where you fucked up right there, because if you think that this damn rubble is gonna keep Zenitsu down, you got another thing coming. So I was just waiting for that motherfucker to pop up out that rubble.
Yeah,
I was waiting for him, and then lo and behold, here he comes. Here that boy come. I was like, damn, what I'm talking about. Zenitsu, talk your shit.
There he is.
Talk your shit, boy.
The goons. I actually said that when I'll get a little bit further into it, but basically Tanjiro unfortunately could not cut off Gyutoro's head within that moment. So not really a surprise, I feel like, to anybody, because we knew that Tanjiro was already like on the brink of like, fuck, I got barely any strength left, and Gyutoro had already shown that he can power his way through that poison. So right when Gyutoro got up, tried to hit Tanjiro, lo and behold, Tengen the god came out of nowhere and defended Tanjiro, and then they go on the approach, the attack, and it is
my boy said we're going for the win.
Some of the, oh my god, probably like I don't know if I would say the best, because the movie still is pretty fucking up there, but Tengen's moves were animated.
The last
so fucking good
6 minutes of this episode was just nothing but straight eye candy. Just
Yes.
nothing but straight eye candy. The
Yes.
fight between, like, you thought the first fight between Tengen and Gyutaro was wild, but then this fight when Tengen pulls up, this man, keep in mind now, this man already done lost an arm, so he only has one arm left. This man pulls up with straight vengeance, figures
Straight
out the
vengeance.
patterns between his blood sickles, and then just proceeds to go ham. Like, it's just wild.
He compares them to music. He's like, I found your rondo or something. Like, he felt like compared to like musical notes, and using that to like dismay and dodge it. And he's the whole time Tanjiro's on his back, and he's like, don't. And he yells out, "Don't let up!" Tanjiro jumps over him to like slash Gyutaro, and Gyutaro catches him with a sickle. First off, I just want to say, as a manga reader, I thought they were going to censor that because of how brutal that was.
They did
like,
not.
I'm so glad they didn't, because it caught him, and I guaranteed I gasped. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
You boy, I'm pretty sure all anime only gasped at that moment right there, because that was wild. That shit was wild.
And I was watching that shit like I hadn't read, because what the hell? And just going from there, you get basically the culmination of Inosuke coming out, them doing it all together, and it was just
and they chop up their
heads. You could not ask for better.
Like I said, the last, maybe not even 6 minutes, it's more about, because like I said, the first 8 minutes of the show is just legit Gyutaro talking shit, so probably like the last 12-15 minutes of this episode, this was just straight pure eye candy. I mean, especially the way they animated Zenitsu. Like, they always animate the fuck out of Zenitsu shit, but this time they did it, oh man, like that shit, it looks so beautiful. It looks so beautiful. And then, you know what? I'm no longer mad at Tengen's animation at all. I'm not. I mean, I wasn't mad before, but like at this point, all doubts in my mind are gone. That shit is amazing. Just the way it looks visually and stuff. That shit is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then like the whole time this is happening, his wives are just up top chilling, watching the fight go down, which is crazy. Like, I thought, they would have got out of there after they, let all the civilians go and stuff like that. But nope, they just sitting there watching the fight go down, chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. But it was crazy, and I had this in my notes. It's like, the fight's over, but now we gotta wonder if Tanjiro is gonna make it through this poison, because that's the last thing we got to see was him.
I'm gonna say this right now. I highly doubt it, because as we all know, Tanjiro is the main character. He's not going to die from this poison. If he does end up dying from this poison, they switch main characters. That is the biggest plot twist I ever seen in anime.
Look. But Tanjiro does not have the Omega plot armor as like Naruto does, where you're named after the series.
He doesn't. Tanjiro gets fucked up in this show. Like, he gets fucked up a lot of the times. But like I said, I'm gonna say this once. I'm gonna say it again. I will be hella surprised, and this will be one of the biggest plot twists ever in anime if they kill off Tanjiro and just keep the series pushing forward. Like, that would be some wild ass shit. Now, like I said, that's highly unlikely in my opinion, just from just watching animes. But if that's what the writer decides to go with, hey, I can't be mad. This is her story, not mine.
I cannot confirm or deny anything, but I will say when I was reading at this point, I legit thought, oh, this is ooh. But like in my head, I was like, I'd be surprised. I was basically where Ace was. I was like, holy shit, like what?
But like I said, with Tanjiro being the main character, I highly doubt that he's dead. Now, on the other hand, though, Tengen might be gone, everybody.
Oh, yeah, because he might be
gone.
The last hit he took, which I forgot to mention, when he was when he was fighting Taro, and making that like last ditch effort, Gyutaro got a clean cut like on his head, like in his face. I think he might have lost an eye. I'm not 100% sure.
It looked like that's like when he did cut him in the face. It looked like he did cut him straight over his eye, or like in this almost like the split, like right there between his eyes, something like that. So it did look like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did lose an eye. But even after that, at the end of the episode, after they cut off their head, Gyutaro body just straight up explode and just blood sickle slashes goes everywhere and decimates basically the whole entire area where they was just fighting it.
And I mean, the entertainment was crazy. The entertainment district at the beginning of this episode, we already got to see it was in shambles. It was destroyed. Like, how much more can you do to this fucking area?
But yeah, the entire place is basically just decimated now. And he tried. I'm assuming that's what it looked like. He was trying. He was
To catch.
telling to catch Tanjiro, because he was telling Tanjiro, like, it's not over with yet. Run, run, run. But Tanjiro couldn't hear him because he was in the midst of passing the fuck out.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that Tink is probably tried to shield him and stuff like that. And whatnot and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, us anime onlys. I think our boy is gone. I think he gone. I think we finna see our second Hashira go down. Not at the expense of nothing though, because we did finally check out in upper six. Supposedly, hopefully, we got them both beheaded, so that should be the end of the upper six. But I think our boy is gone though.
Yeah, man, the fact that explosion went off, it's still not over. It's still not over.
I think our boy's gone, which just brings me back to my earlier point though. They should have did all this shit in one season, which technically they still do it. They still did do it all in one season, because they, right before they premiered the Entertainment District arc, they went through the Mugen Train arc. So technically they still do it. They still did do it like that, but they
if they had just done the movie in this, it would have been hype still as well. But like you were saying, if it could have been, if they were going to do the season anyway, they should have just done it from the gate.
Yes, because if they would have just done it straight from the gate, season 2 legit would be one of the best seasons in just anime ever. Like, we got, oh my gosh. I'm gonna keep saying it. They should have just went on ahead and adapted the Mugen Train arc into the regular episodes. Even though, they did it, but they should have just stuck with that plan from the beginning, instead of doing a movie and then going back on that word and adapting the Mugen Train arc anyways. It's just like, what's the point? Like, y'all should just did that at the beginning.
Yeah, it should just either one or the other. Regardless, though, this episode was the shit. To get into rating, I don't know about Alex. I gave this a 10.
Slap 10. 10.
Our hype. I'm not even going to explain it that much, but our hype should let you know how good this episode was.
It is a slap 10. No questions about it. Like I said, my one little nitpick I had can definitely not affecting this rating at all. It slap 10. It was a good ass episode from beginning to end, and like arguably some of the best animations that we've seen in the last recent years from an anime. It's just wild. And I don't know if you guys can hear this in the background though. My dog is still being very clingy right now. He is not letting up right now. But yeah, I mean, slap 10. I have no complaints at all about this episode. It was, like I said, the entire episode after Gyatoro got started done talking shit, straight eye candy.
Just none but the hype.
The fight was amazing. Then they even left us on another cliffhanger. So I mean, I have no qualms. I have
no notes.
No. I mean,
no notes.
Slap 10. Put it on there. I ain't got nothing to say other than that. It's just a slap 10. This is definitely one of the best episodes of Demon Slayer there's ever been. Argue with your mama, not me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just straight facts. This is one of the best Demon Slayer episodes there's been so far. If not, it's probably the best episode of Demon Slayer out right now. If it's not. I mean, with all that being said, I damn sure just can't wait to see the last episode of the arc.
Yep.
Apparently, it's supposed to be slated for 45 minutes, so we're gonna get a ton of exposition, hopefully, out of this arc. And hopefully they set up by this. Hopefully they explain what's gonna happen next and go set up the next arc. So hopefully we get to see what we're gonna get into next after this episode.
Hopefully we don't have to wait too long.
No.
For the next season.
With the manga being officially done, the breaks should not be too long apart. Of course, there's still going to be breaks because, as we all know, Demon Slayer, they're going to want to keep up the reputation of having this
amazing
A+ grade of quality of animation. So we already know it's going to take them some time to sit back and go through the next episodes and make sure they keep the same level of quality. I'm not denying that at all. I'm just saying the breaks between each seasons now should not be as long because all the material is done. The manga is finished. All the material is done. So the wait should not be as long this time. So hopefully, if we don't see season 3 by the end of this year, like holiday season or something like that, Hopefully, we see it early next January.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I really hope we get the next season. This holiday season. That's what I'm hoping.
Same.
That's what I'm
Um.
hoping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this, like I said, all the material is done.
Someday.
So what
Next.
are we waiting for, Ufotable? Unless like the only possible thing that could push back like the scheduling is if Ufotable picks up another anime and stuff like that. I'm not sure if Ufotable is working on anything other than Demon Slayer right now.
I don't think so. But I mean, hey, after this, I'll be surprised if people aren't booking down their doors to adapt shit.
Yeah, definitely after this, season of Demon Slayer, I would not be surprised if we start seeing, Ufotable put their touch on other animes and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not sure if they are animating anything else right now. I'll have to look that up. That'll be something interesting. Is there any other animes that Ufotable is also working on right now? But
I don't know if they do all of the Fate stuff, but I know they're pretty heavily involved with Fate, and that has been getting like a couple movies here or there. But regardless, they've been doing a really good job. I cannot wait for the next episode and then subsequently the next season.
Yeah. So with that being said, before McMillian takes us on out of here, I'm going to say this real quick. So as we already stated, next week is the last episode of Demon Slayer, which means that it'll be taken out of our weekly rotations. So we're either gonna find something to replace Demon Slayer for the rest of the winter season, or we're just gonna stick with Attack on Titan and Case of Vanitas. The high likely cases, we're just gonna find something to fill it in this slot. So once we do find something, we will let you guys know.
Yep. Stay tuned on the socials.
Yep. And with that being said, McMillian, you go ahead and take us on out of here.
All right, guys. All that hype. All right. All right, guys. As always, thank you for coming and watching / listening. If you are listening on any of the audio streaming platforms, please do remember to follow and possibly give us a good review on that service. If you're on YouTube, you already know it. Hit that like and please subscribe so you can stay up to date when we release these our videos. Also, to make sure that you're keeping up to date with all things Gurren Otaku Council, follow us on our social media at Gurren Otakus on Twitter, at Gurren Otaku Council on Instagram. As always, hope you guys are have a great day. Meeting adjourned. Peace.